Good evening, everyone. This meeting of the City of Kingston Zoning Board of Appeals will now come to order. Can I have a motion? I believe we're doing this now. A motion to open the meeting. Mary is going to open. First, Ken the second.
I'll second.
Anthony. My name is Brian Cafferty, and I'll be chairing these proceedings. I'll take a moment to explain how the Zoning Board of Appeals functions. The board is comprised of 5 members and 2 alternates. We have been appointed to serve the citizens of the City of Kingston. We perform this service to the best of our abilities on a volunteer, unpaid basis. Unpaid. The other board members are
Don Martin.
Mary, Anthony Tampone. There will be a period for public comment this evening after each variance request has been presented. This period is an opportunity for individuals to make a statement of opinion, not to engage in debate. Each speaker must state their name and address for the record. Speakers must be brief and to the point to allow everyone a chance to speak. Speakers must address the board as a whole, not individual members, and not other speakers or audience members. A professional demeanor is expected. Everybody understand all that? Yes. Okay. All right. With that, I'm going to ask Eric Kitchen, the Code Enforcement Officer, to read the minutes of the last meeting into the record, and then we'll move to accept.
At the last meeting, the minutes were approved from the April 28, 2022 meeting. With Mary making the motion and Donna seconding that motion, and those minutes were approved 4-0. There was no new business at the last meeting on April 28th. Owner applicant Mercedes Caraback, 188 Fair Street. There was a motion by Anthony, a second by Mary, voted 4-0 to reschedule the public hearing, which will be on the second Thursday of June 9th at 6:15 p.m. And after that, the meeting was adjourned. Ms. Mercedes with Caraback was applying and seeking a variance for 405-12, attachment 2 of the City of Kingston zoning ordinance. Applicant, she was seeking relief from a 5-foot yard setback, 0-yard setbacks to construct mudroom, deck, and burn room. On that, the meeting was adjourned.
Okay. After
Also,
hearing the whoops, go
I
ahead.
want to add into the record that I received correspondence from 3 individuals in reference to the Union Churchill project. Those individuals were Jan Harrison and Alan Bear, and also J.A. Myers, and also Sarah Wenk. Those are the 3 written comments that we received.
Everybody on the board has gotten that communication, correct? Okay, now that the minutes have been read, I want to just ask if there's a motion to accept or if there's any changes, that deletions, modifications to the minutes, and no, we're good. So can I have a motion? Okay.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0 approved.
At the last meeting, Matt had also said, you also have to ask if there's anybody opposed.
Yeah, but I asked if anybody opposed. Right.
Everybody says aye, huh?
Yeah. it's not-
Yeah. Anybody opposed? Ghosts in the room? Okay. Good. All right, I think we're good. We're beating Robert's Rules of Orders to death here. Pardon? Yeah, no, I'm just getting ready to, pardon? Yeah, we can do the public.
I don't see any harm in
Do
doing that, right?
We don't, we'll just we'll get it under our belt and out of the way, but I think we'll deal with it when we get there. So, I'm gonna ask if there's anybody, you want to start with the people in the room?
Yeah, so we have, 3 people that would like to speak.
There are 3 people like to speak. Okay,
They're right there.
all right. So
We just go in order.
am I reading it? Yeah. Alice, okay, I didn't, Alice Arm?
Yes.
Hi, Alex, how are you? So, and you're at 1600 Street, Kingston. You spoke last time, right? Okay. So, yes, would you,
I just have a concern about the way the survey was done. I just wanted to make sure that that it didn't find, that it followed when they, if this project is approved or whatever, that it doesn't, that it correctly follows the property line. Because my fence is not, it's bending, and also, there's a discrepancy from what I can see between my survey and the survey I saw online. I've had problems already with my other neighbor, so I'm not looking for any more problems.
right, okay, well,
So I just wanted to make sure that when people, in general, when people are building it, and I'm not just saying anybody here, I'm just saying in general, I wanted to know if when somebody builds something, if they have to follow a property survey. Not say, well, oh, the fence sort of goes.
Yes.
along. They have.
yes, for a project like this, and if I'm not mistaken in the submission, everything's been surveyed, right?
Yes, correct.
And you're saying that the surveys that you've seen up to this point as a part of the submission, there seems to be some discrepancy as it relates to your property boundary?
So I
Okay.
just, I want to, square the little down.
Okay,
And not right this minute, but I
No, no.
like, because my other neighbor put in a gas line on my parking lot. And I had to go to Central Hudson, big deal.
it happens a lot in the city of Kingston. We have very tight,
I know, I want a big deal. No, I'm trying, I want to, be respectful and everything. That's all, just putting it out here.
okay. Okay, yes, it would be something that she would have to,
Take up with the survey.
yeah.
And how old is your survey?
I think it's 2009.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Could you? I would suggest that if there's a discrepancy that you're concerned about, if you have a surveyor, that you consult the surveyor and have him check the discrepancy, and then, of course, they could be in touch with the applicant if there's a problem.
Okay,
All right?
thank you.
Okay. Okay. Jeremy Guzman, 77 Gage Street.
June 9th, yep.
I'm just gonna write this in my own chicken scratch site. Okay.
Is there a list of the variances?
There are. Yeah. Yes, you're would be correct in that there are a lot of them. This is basically a sheet of all the different variances.
All right.
I believe,
I got
if memory serves me right, there's a 25 in all variances.
Total?
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, we can certainly go through it, but,
Yeah.
Obviously it's individual lot by lot,
yeah, I think there's,
not a sum.
yeah, no, I realize that, but in total, for all of the 5 lots, it's a total of 25 individual variances, correct? All right. That's what I was just about to count up, 24. All right, we'll find it.
Okay.
You probably. I thought it was 25. but-
I counted 25. I don't know.
So suffice to say, there's a lot of.
Are you here to speak tonight?
I'd love to speak. I would be.
I don't know whether we want to, if he likes to.
Go ahead.
Maybe we don't.
Chris?
You don't want.
Thank you much.
Tonight is very.
We definitely don't. Okay.
I spoke to Matt. He's giving me directions.
Oh, okay, great.
Thank you so much. We should continue with public discussion, questions.
Okay, right.
Is he gonna make it or?
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
The adjusting the, I've seen the plans before.
How about you do that and we'll go on to the next speaker and then we'll go back to you, okay? Great. Lindsay Rothling,
I,
did I pronounce that correct?
rough line.
Rothling, I knew it.
I don't really know what to say.
Oh, okay, no problem. And Robert,
Yeah, I'm just here to speak in favor of the project.
in favor? Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to say anything?
Just, I mean, I feel like it'd be good for the community, especially with things closing here and there. It's, you know,
Where do you?
there's a lot of jobs. I'm sorry, I work in the food service industry.
What do you
Where do you?
Oh, where do I live? 590 Broadway.
But, yeah, it's on here, 590 Broadway. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, just here to speak in favor, especially with jobs, you know. And the hospitality industry.
A little bit of. Okay. So,
I guess we could just go with that, that's okay.
yep,
I'm an advocate for the project, I think bringing in this many units, would definitely help with, the Rondout area. There was, the land over there is, you know, it would be great if it was more housing over there.
okay. Anything else? Okay. All right. Is there anything that anybody else or anyone,
This gentleman, he's up next.
well, he didn't say he was speaking, so go
Oh,
ahead.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm speaking in favor of this project. I have reviewed the project. I am a resident of Kingston. I'm a developer as well. And I like the challenging aspect of the project, the way that it's designed, in particular because this is a diverse city, and I think we do need diverse architectural and properties that are a little bit out of the box. In other words, I see this city growing fast, and I think that we should welcome developers that do due diligence to present something new and fresh. You know, that's my position. I'm also wish to develop something, and I'm thinking also out of the box on some, you know, more contemporary units and that type of thing.
Anything else?
That's basically, as the conversation goes, maybe I interrupt.
Quick and easy. Oh, yeah, and feel free to interrupt anytime. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Now you want to speak? Your names are?
My name is Leslie Wansler.
Oh, and Leslie, you're on here, right?
Yes, my address is 30.
30 Hunter Street?
Yes. I am in the lot directly next to the building, the 2, 3 families, I guess. I am not in support of this project as it is currently designed. I think it's great to want development in Kingston, but would you want to live right next to this building? If you were the neighbor to this building, would you want to live in the shadow of a building that is much taller, way taller than any of the other buildings in the neighborhood? It does not meet the height variance. And would you want to live right next to a building where they're taking all the street parking? They want all the street parking for their units because they don't want to build the same parking that every other person in the neighborhood has had to build for themselves. So as their neighbor, I'm not going to have anywhere to park. I'm not going to have anywhere for any guests to park. I'm not going to have any privacy because they are going to be towering over my yard. I'm not going to have anything to look at because it's just they want to build right up onto the property line. They want no setbacks. So they want to build directly right up to the edge. They want to take everything for themselves and they do not want to leave anything for the neighborhood. And I do support new units coming into the neighborhood, absolutely. But I feel the project needs to be built within the variances that are established to protect the neighborhood. That's why they're there. Within the height requirements and the variances that are established to protect the aesthetic and the character of this neighborhood. People want to move to this area because of the way it looks. People want to move to Kingston because it's charming and it's beautiful and it's historical. They don't want to move here and live next to a modern development that is going to also create a lot of new noise pollution because they're not creating any green space. The green space is on the roof. And what do people do on roofs? They party. That's what they're designed for. They're designed for entertaining. I know this because I live in a neighborhood in Brooklyn with a lot
Are
of.
you a rooftop party or is that?
No, I'm not. And I certainly don't want people partying on my roof next to me when I'm trying to rest. I think the project is going to move forward because they've purchased the land. But the project needs to move forward with the variances that have been established that everyone else in the neighborhood abides by. And it needs to be designed in a way that's contributing to the character of the neighborhood that is going to increase property values for everyone, not just for the developers.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, we also have 2 people joining us
I figured
virtually with one.
they might want to speak. Is there anybody else here that wants to speak? Yeah.
We're in the same,
What she said?
yeah, well, what she said, we're in the same property.
Yeah.
Also, reassure that there are many advantages of gentrification, which is what's happening in Kingston, and it brings a lot of economic value, it brings a lot of things. It's just that it's at the expense of our expense, right? We have no privacy, we have no right to build to the property line because they're going to beat us to the punch, right? We already have to deal with the pre-existing condition that our neighbor built to the property line on the other side. So we're basically going to become an alley in which we're going to have to change all the plans that we have, all the plans that we did for the past 5 years to get to where we are with the means that we have to develop our property that was going to be a restful place. We're going to move into a community where we've been for 30 years, friends and people that we know around here, and especially down in that area.
You've been at 30 Hunter for 30 years?
No. We've developed a relationship with the people, and this is why we're going to build there. And I'm not against a new project, the aesthetics of the project are whatever aesthetics they're going to be, right? But I don't think it has to be at the expense of us, especially. It's at the expense of everybody in the neighborhood, because there are 25 variances with 52 parking spots in the street, and the height, we're gonna have no view, right? Because everybody's gonna look down to us. We're gonna look, no, on the one side, there is, a wall, and on the other side, there is, from what I saw on the maquette, there is hallways of people walking around, and they can hang out and just basically look into our property. right? Are we going to get the same variances? Are we going to have the same right to have built to their height? Because then we have to change our vision into what we want to develop there from our dream home to something that is going to recuperate the value that we invested there, because it's going to be, nobody's going to want to live in an alley, right? Like I appreciate there's going to be retail spaces and places to rent, and I'm sure they're going to be very happy living there when they move in, which I doubt they're going to move in there. But, you know, it's at the expense of the people that want to be there. So all the benefits that you get from gentrifying are great, but nothing has been done with everything that everyone knows in the past 25 years of gentrification of this area. Nothing is done about that,
Okay.
right? Especially, I want to make sure that whatever variances they get, we get access to those as well.
No one can promise you that. If you have a need for a variance at some point in the future, you would apply for it.
But wouldn't that be unfair?
I,
Wouldn't that be the right thing to do?
again, you would apply for,
It's good for the bishop.
you would apply for the variances, whatever they may be, but that's all. That's all I'm saying, but thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you for your.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, next, we're gonna be talking to Corey and Miss Starling. Okay? Miss Starling, you have to please unmute yourself.
What's the?
Can you hear us, Miss Starling? No,
Corey?
we can't hear you, Miss Starling. Why can't we hear Miss Starling? Okay.
Something like that.
Anthony,
What's that?
she's talking, she's not muted.
Oh, is this volume not up?
Press the button.
Volume's pretty high here.
Is that muted over there?
Unmute yourself and talk.
It's muted on the big screen. Look.
That's him, that's Eric
Okay.
on the screen. Unmute yourself and talk, see if we can hear you here.
Hello,
Okay,
Miss Starling, can you hear us?
mute yourself again. So if she's talking, then she must be muted or no audio.
Can we go to the next person until she figures out how to unmute herself?
Sorry, Miss Darling, we cannot hear you. Could be a technical error on your part. Mute the 845 number, please. Okay. You're also here by phone too.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Yay, okay. Hi, I'm Corinne Darling. I'm the owner of 1719 and Beale Street. So I just wanted to comment on the parking variance that they're going for. I just had a little concern with that because on-street parking is so tight as it is in that neighborhood, and it has kind of been a contentious issue. So I was just seeing if there's some other solution that can be found with parking, or even working with the city and figuring out a public parking situation. That's my concern with that. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Darling.
Thanks.
Next, we have Tanya Garment, would like to speak.
Hi, Tanya Garnet, 102 Ward Street, a resident of Rondout up the hill from the project. I missed the beginning of the meeting, so please excuse me if somebody else said what I'm about to say, but I also want to thank the neighbors of the street for giving a lot of really important input. I did hear some of it. And this is not a project that is context sensitive. The owners of this building, from what I understand, they live in New Jersey. We're not seeing any evidence that they have gotten to know the neighborhood, what would be good for the neighborhood. Have they tried meeting the neighbors or hanging out in the neighborhood? Do they have any sort of a sense of how the neighbors work? I would hope that the board would wonder about that. But the context in terms of the architecture, at the planning board, Suzanne Cahill, the director of planning, pointed out, oh no, it was at the Historic Landmarks Preservation Commission. She pointed out that there may not be enough of a interaction between the building and the street. And the architect responded, oh, but we've got terraces. And so the people in the buildings will be able to see the sidewalk. And I thought that was quite indicative of the point of view of the architect in the way that he is designing this. It's all about the experience of the people in the building and not at all about the experience of the people outside the building. This is a stilted building that has a parking lot underneath without evidence of much screening even. But this is a very small, tight street. And to stilt these buildings, and I think another thing that I hope that everybody understands is that I believe last meeting, the neighbor on the Hunter side, she pointed out that she's right next to it and it may look like it's part of their open space, but it's not. And in fact, on both sides of the building between Hunter and West Union, those are single empty lot parcels. How are they, if they choose to in the future, ever going to be able to build on their parcels? It wouldn't make any sense because this building goes all the way to the side, let alone the very good points of experiencing the use of that parcel as it is would be ruined as well. And then on the Abeil side, the one that backs onto Abeil, that's just their driveway. That empty lot there that may look like open space is it's owned by the Irish Cultural Center. And they originally purchased it, I believe, hoping to make a parking lot out of it. But the parking as a primary use is not allowed in the run. And so that also makes it so they'll have very limited use of their building too because of the way this building sits. And then lastly, I'd like to point out, and I haven't had a chance to, two things quickly I'll say is, I haven't had a chance to research this, but open space on a astroturfed roof, does that really fit the point of open space? And do the applicants know that we are about to begin another intensive week of our zoning code overhaul, where it's going to be added context sensitive approach that really we'll be doing we are taking a look at our zoning code now, and they may see that they could have some real good guidance if they pay attention to what's going on in Kingston. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Tanya. Okay. Is there anybody else online that wants to speak?
No.
Please say no. Thank you.
Nope.
Just because I have a tenant who's stuck outside their house and can't get in.
Go to Matt. Matt said to, have open discussion. Vote to table the meeting until June.
Yes. So, I mean, we've got comment from the last meeting, we had comment in writing, and we got quite a bit of comment tonight. So, we're hearing what people are saying. I don't think really, unless anybody here wants to get into a discussion.
Public hearing, we should.
Yeah, I think we need to close the public hearing. Yeah.
And adjourn the meeting. Okay, so we need a motion to close the public hearing. And Anthony was first made the motion. And you're second, Mary. I didn't hear you. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay. So can I have a motion table this application until the next general meeting of the ZBA?
I'll make a motion to table the meeting. Till June
Here, Brian. I'm gonna have to pass that around. If you could. Give that, Brian.
9th. Oh, we have to sign this?
Yeah.
This day is like the day from now. No, yeah, but it's more than that.
And also, I'm gonna pass this around for the last meeting. Jeff was the motion for
Anthony? Oh, Brian.
Yeah, I'm just.
Sign the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah, Anthony's got to sign this one. What date are we doing this in June? June 9th.
That's gonna be a second meeting.
June 9th? It's a special meeting. No, it's regular.
That's a regular meeting.
you get up. When you get
your agenda, you can take notes on the agenda.
I didn't take notes on the agenda today, I just made regular, so you want them?
Nope, because we already got the sheet.
Okay. Eric, can you do me a favor, can you,
Whatever we need. Copies of the written minutes.
Yes.
Comments.
Yeah.
You have the printed copy of Sarah's letter.
I don't.
No, but I'm gonna ask if you could email that to me.
Yeah, why don't
you?
Send it to all of us. Yeah. We'll put it in part of our packet.
this contractor screwed up my front door?
Okay, do we adjourn the meeting?
Yes, regular meeting,
Yes.
I'll motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Anthony made a motion, Mary second. Favor?
Yeah, I guess.
Any opposed?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
so we're coming back to the 9th, we don't need to submit any new additional documentation,
not at this point. Not at this point.
and that this is because the attorney's not
Yeah, we don't,
We had an emergency situation.
here. Understood, thank you.
yeah, we have,
Always okay.
what I'd like to, well, let me just, the motion to adjourn was Tony.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
See you.
Good to see you again.
Can we, when we get, when you get second, can we arrange to perhaps have a?
Before all the public leaves, everybody should know, for zoning, the city commission. Are you still recording? Kingston Forward, comprehensive zoning project, there's a bunch of events starting